Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bad Ideas. That intro felt weird. I haven't recorded a pre-recorded video in a while, so hey, it's Tristan with Nerdnet's Newsstand. We are back with Bad Ideas, and we are going to do something a little different this time. I've been wanting to do something on music. Music is a big, influential part of my life, so I'm like, how do we incorporate this? And then last night, Bianca had the most amazing idea, and we are going to do a review of 3 songs that we sent each other. We have not talked about them even in the slightest, even though I am dying to do so. But how are you today, Bianca?
I'm doing good. I can't wait to start.
I was like, do I troll her and send her something raunchy? But I'm like, no. No. I
I could
gotta
have
be
killed
nice.
you and sent you something raunchy.
That's true. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go with the things. 3 of we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
You
Actually,
took a while for the third one.
I was so particular. I listened to so much music when the last I went through different bands. Like I had Avenged Sevenfold and Evanescence lined up, and I'm like, no, I have to. I have to go with we'll get there. We'll get there who it actually is. But let's start off right with your first choice that you sent me, because I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing. So tell us,
Yeah.
is it Caravan Palace?
Yes.
And what is the song's title?
Dramaphone.
Sassy sisters, dressed in nothing but silk underwear. Silly swingers, get your feeling on the spell.
What was that? Like, legitimately, it had a great beat, and it was interesting, but it felt like oh, what's the right word? Like,
Are you gonna say retro?
no, kind of, but like salsa mixed with like big band music.
I like jazz, so I usually like a lot of their stuff. A lot of their stuff is actually like this.
The thing I noticed, and I'll just let you guys know, if there's not little clips of the songs in my editing, then it'll be in the description. It just depends on YouTube. But all the songs I'll put in order in the description so you can see what we're talking about. But this what drew you to something like this? It felt very like, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm saying I liked it least out of the 3, but it was very like repetitive.
The the music video itself, or the actual music?
The actual music, the music video,
Yes.
I didn't watch. I watched, but like I didn't pay attention to it. But this, when we get to your second choice, I got to talk about that music video just a little bit. But it was very like. So when I go into music, one of my biggest things is I want to be able to sing, and I want to be able to sing loud. Like it didn't feel like there was much as far as actual lyrics.
Sing along ability.
Yes.
Yes. Usually for a, like a lot of like jazz music or swing music, you would have to do it in like a particular kind of way, not in the way that you want, like you would with rock or pop music or etc.
Right.
But for me, that's the one of the reasons why I like the genre, because I don't really like to sing it. I just like to listen to it. I actually listened to one of their songs, only one, for like a couple years. Just that one song.
Mm-hmm.
It's also raunchy, by the way. It's raunchy animation. But I realized, I was like, I like this song. What other songs do they have? So like this year, literally a few months ago, I'm like, okay, let me see what they got. And I was like, oh wow, they're all very similar. And I'm like, okay, so this is the style they do. I'm like, yes, finally, I know I have a YouTube channel that does mostly that kind of sound, except the raunchy one. That's the only one that's different.
Now I'm gonna have to look up the raunchy one.
No, everybody was being so mean to me in the top 10 sexiest characters. Everybody's calling me a furry. There's a reason why I don't watch the music video anymore.
Oh my god. No, I have to though. I have to. It's in my homework. So this band, besides the one song, is relatively more familiar or for newer to you. Caravan
Yes.
Palace.
Yes. Lone Digger is the one everybody talks about. That's the
Lone
raunchy
Digger.
one. Lone
I'm-
Digger.
I'm not totally typing it down in my document. No, not at all. Yeah, I would say this is something that I could not like for me, just because our styles are clearly quite a bit different. I listen to
Yeah.
everything, but this is something for me that I'm gonna go ahead and say I cannot listen to it on a normal basis.
That I understand.
It's fun for about a minute, and then you've heard the whole thing, and it's just gonna repeat and repeat in the nicest way possible. I guess that's kind of its draw, though, too. Like, I swear to God, I they were saying like sassy girl or something, like
Sassy sisters.
sassy sisters. That's what it was. I'm like, okay. Well, at least they're good dancers. I mean,
The dance
Really good.
battle is the favorite part. Just like,
it's so
there's these
good.
girls with these motorcycle guys, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna fight. No, they're gonna dance.
So funny. Yeah, I it's different. All right, we'll go with different. So, is there any like story about just besides that? That's just why you enjoy them, is because of the being able to listen and
Yes, to me, those are catchy tunes. Catchy
Right.
tunes that I like listening. Sometimes I will ignore the lyrics.
I get that. So some of the songs I set may have been a little bit more important to listen to the lyrics. I hope you did. But the first one I set,
get
and in each one that I set, I'm gonna have a story with. Just prepare yourself. The first one I sent was ICP, Insane Clown Posse. Yes, I'm ready for the comments. I am ready for the comments.
Is
Thy
it really
unveiling.
well known?
Messages and hints were there, although most never picked up on them. We snuck them in subliminally with that wicked shit around them.
ICP? Oh my God, yes. Wait, what?
I've never heard of ICP. That sounds like a joke. ICP.
No, it's Insane Clown Posse. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Before you tell me your opinion, let me tell you just a little backstory. They were around in the earlier 90s. I was young, I didn't listen. But they basically performed one of the biggest musical frauds, or not fraud, hoax. I don't know how to say it. So they released 7 albums. It was they called them their, not Joker cards. There was like the Great Malenko, and I used to know all this. I actually, and yeah, I will admit this, I do have an ICP tattoo somewhere on my body. Just saying. The thing with this was, for years they put in little hints about the ultimate reveal, what it was going to be. And the song I sent you was that ultimate reveal and build up for years to, yeah, they had terrible songs, right? Talking about fucking girls and everything else, whatever. Talking about killing people, blah, blah, blah. But they would put in little hints that all of this was leading up to the reveal of them being all about God. And that's the song I sent. And there was like, you think of outrage, right? And these people had followed ICP for 10 plus years, realizing that they were these born again Christians, and some of them got really, really mad. Some of them got really, really mad. And some of them were like, yeah, we knew, right? Like, we knew. But that's what this is ultimately was the reveal of, in the song it says, truth is we follow God. We've always been behind him. And it was some pretty powerful shit back in its day. So what'd you think?
You have no idea how confused I was.
I'm sorry.
Well, first it was like, I'm like, 7 minutes, dang, how long is this song? And then I realized it's a majority of a talking intro. And I'm like, okay, when's the music gonna start? And then it just hits you with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels so aggressive. And then they're like, we follow God. I'm like, oh, I just got gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a hoodwink, right?
Not something that I expected. I mean, there was that Christian rapper who would sometimes curse. Shoot, you listen to that rapper. What was that rapper's name? Oh, hold on. Never mind. I don't know anything.
You're totally fine. And then there was like Creed, but they were kind of like, and then Puddle of Mud. But this was like 4 years they built up this audience of kind of misfits that felt like they had a family in these what they would literally call them is juggalos, right? It was all over. I can't believe you've never heard of ICP. What the heck?
So a juggalo is something completely made up, right?
Right. It's a
Okay.
fan. It's a fan of ICP and juggalette, right? I also may have that somewhere else on my body. I'm just saying. But for years they did this, and they would have every single summer, right? You go to, they called it Gathering of the Juggalos. There would be a 3-day massive event, and it was fun. And you got to meet new people, and it was all like based around fandom. And then one year they come out with this, and people are like, dude, you were talking about killing bigots and fucking bitches. What? It was crazy, but I knew, like, there was songs, hinted all along the way, but it was just like such a mind fuck to me. And that song to me reminds me of like when I'm 18 years old, like listening to it for the first time, and I'm like getting ready to go to the gathering, and I'm like, we follow God. Like, I just, it was such a fuckery.
I definitely understand the outrage, though. I'm not used to people talking about God and cursing so much.
Yeah. And it was like the idea that you didn't have to fit a mold, right? When you think of a
Yeah.
Christian, you fit a mold. And that was kind of the idea always around it. And I always thought it was kind of beautiful in a way. And then, of course, like, I loved their style when I was young. I will manage to say that I was mildly obsessed for a while.
It seems like everybody's thing when I was looking at the comments.
Oh yeah, and it's still pretty decently big to this day. I know one of the main guys actually had some heart issues recently,
Oh
but
no!
like, yeah, and he's only in his 50s, maybe. Like, it's so they've calmed down a little bit, but like they had them, and then a bunch of other smaller bands around him would always hang out, and it was fun. I saw him in concert quite a few times. I went to the gathering, and I kind of grew up, but like the music still sticks, right? That was such a big like unveiling. It was like 15 years in the making of having all of this massive fan, and then going, look, you should find God. And it was just such a weird thing, but it was awesome. The song's good too.
Not something I would continually listen to.
I get it. I kind of figured that, but like I was trying to think of like really like me songs, and I'm like, yeah, this was
This is definitely a you song.
It definitely
I'm like,
is.
I feel Tristan's essence through this song.
I love it. It's so good though. So for your second song, you had I've actually got our email up because I don't know the name of them. Can you, Nina? Do you know how to say the last name?
I just say Nina.
Nina
Why bother
Sablanti.
trying?
Okay. In the song, it's Nina Sablanti, War. Am I correct?
I'm a wire, isolated, world gonna get up and see.
Warrior.
Okay. I did it. Yeah, this is what I get for going through the email, and the small link says War. So before I tell you my opinion on it, why'd you pick this song?
So I'm not sure if you heard of Eurovision.
No, I seen that on the thumbnail though. What is that?
So Eurovision is a European song contest thing that they have, I believe, every year. And shoot, when did I start listening? I believe I started listening 2014, which was a senior year of high school.
Oh my god, I'm so old. Okay, yeah.
And I don't even remember how I ended up looking this whole thing up, but I remember seeing a video. I'm like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, so it's all this European countries, not all of them, obviously, you got to be selected.
Right.
And, you get to compete. And it's like, I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. And so I didn't follow so much of it. Oh, I remember. It was actually my freshman or sophomore year. Most likely my freshman, since that was when I was taking Spanish, and that's where I saw it in Spanish class. Yay, my memory's coming back to me.
Yay.
So it was a 2009 video of France, and it was such a fun music video. Ale, 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 I can't speak French, so and it was a guy, and he was like shaking his butt a lot, and I'm like, what the heck am I watching? But this looks so fun, and the audience is so like they're so into it. I'm like, this is amazing. And I just like looked it up for that senior year in music class to see if there was any more. And so I ended up using one of the songs for, apparently you have to practice a song over and over again every week to see how you improved, and possibly play it in this thing they do every year for the seniors for their last time and play at a bar and something. I never got to do that. I had to do my brother's song, and he decided, oh, hey, I'm not going to sing. Can you sing? On the I think the day before or the week before the shindig,
Mhm.
I got so angry because I can't sing. And he told me to sing in front of people I've never sung before.
Oh no.
And I also got a sore throat that day, so I sounded not only terrible, but terribly raspy too.
Aw.
And I was just so embarrassed because my mom will sometimes mention it. And I'm like, Mom, no, please. And he was like, oh, I can't sing and play drums at the same time. And I'm like, it took you this long to figure it out. I could have opted out because seniors have we have the authority to like opt out or not. And I could have opted out to save myself the embarrassment.
So did you sing this song?
No, because I was too focused on what my brother wanted to play.
Gotcha.
Since I did piano.
You can play piano?
Not anymore. I haven't
Not anymore.
practiced in years. I want to though. I love the piano.
It's so fun.
Hence my love of jazz and swing.
Yeah, I guess it does make sense, but I'm gonna. I like this song a lot better. A lot better. Like
Music video was great too, right?
Oh my! I had to rewatch it because I forgot to listen. Like I was like, this is beautiful.
I'm so sorry with the. I realized that because she's from Georgia and not Georgia the state in the U.S., but Georgia the European country. So I'm like, oh my gosh! I remember looking up subtitles for this. So I'm like, Tristan, send me subtitles if you didn't understand, but you didn't send me anything. So I'm like, okay, I hope it did well for her.
No, it was fun. Like it was. So I watched the video and then I realized like. So that outfit where I know I'm commenting, I will comment on the song, I promise. But that where she's wearing all that fur, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so fucking beautiful. Like everything about that, the way it's shot with the dogs and the different kind of women in it almost reminded me like Amazonian-esque. It was great.
Yes.
The song was much better than the first. It actually, the song, okay, so they're kind of in order. This is my second favorite out of the three. It is much more empowering, I would say is a good word. And I love that. It was exactly opposite of my second song, which we'll get to, but not really, but it was beautiful. And I think had I just listened to the song alone, maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much because it's good. It is good. But that paired with the visual, with the music video was great. I like the way they did it.
Yes, I didn't want to show you the live. I'm like, I think I want to show the video because I feel like it's more impactful.
Beautiful. All those different women, like the one looked straight out of like Wonder Woman. And it was so good. I love the way that they did that design and it paired really good with like an empowering song. Like it kind of reminded me like not on the, sounding the same, but like have you ever heard that one song like this is my fight song?
Yeah,
like that kind of empowerment. And I really, really liked it. Like that's a song little girls could listen to and be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this. That's awesome. I love it. It was really like to the point where I would listen to it again. Not gonna lie, that is one I would listen to again. I enjoyed it that much.
I actually, because I forget if I have like a mental block, I have to like make sure that I wrote her name in my saved YouTube recent stuff because I'm like,
Mhm.
what was her name? What was her name? It starts with an N, and I push N, Nina, and I'm like, yes.
Perfection. I like it. I liked it a lot. It was like there's a good amount of songs I want to listen to when I'm in a good mood, and that would be one that I could add to the repertoire of like get pumped, feel good about yourself, like
Work out.
yes, exactly. Like you put it on and you go for a run. Perfect. I liked it a lot. It was good. Much better. Much better than the first. Not gonna lie. Oh goodness. So my second song I sent you.
She cries alone at night too often. He smokes and drinks and don't come home at all. On the women leave.
Again, warning stories here. Alice Cooper is somebody that I have adored since I can remember how to talk. With growing, my dad was a huge rock and roll person, right? Loved going on the road and getting all of the like following around bands and being with them. And Alice Cooper was the first one I really like. There's others. There's Aerosmith and plenty. Guns N' Roses, another big one. But like Alice Cooper to me is my childhood. Like I have pictures of me very young dressed up as Alice Cooper for Halloween or to go there. And I've met the man, I want to say 3 times. He's so nice. I met his daughter.
Wait, what? You met this guy?
Yeah, and I met his daughter. Her name's Calico. She's a sweetheart. I met everyone in the band. I actually have their autographs and was able to kind of, and then they did this thing called Haunted Hydro. Was able to kind of hang out with them and like the dude has been like a huge inspiration from like I'll listen to him forever. And oddly enough, recently more recently, he's in a band with Johnny Depp.
Whew.
Yeah, kind of crazy, but yeah. So what'd you think?
So
it's Only Women Bleed. Only Women Bleed by Alice Cooper. I guess I should have said that first.
Oh yeah. So I'm pretty sure I've heard the name Alice Cooper before, but not really like as a singer.
Right.
So unless I'm thinking about some other Alice Cooper, I don't know. So this is my first time listening to his songs. It's really good. The thing is, the first time I was hearing it, I was watching my sister watch MasterChef, and so I was so focused on that. I was like, I'm like, wait, I gotta listen to the lyrics. And then I couldn't understand the lyrics, but then I wanted to cry, and I'm like, why do I want to cry? I don't even know what it's saying. And then I later looked at it again, and I'm like, oh no, this is why I'm crying. Maybe my brain somehow knew it was a sad song. And
it's
like,
impactful.
oh.
It was brought out in a time where getting abuse at the hands of men was kind of just like, oh, we don't tell. You don't tell. So it's kind of like a little bit of pushback to it, but it's empowering in its own way. It's definitely very it's meant to make you hurt for a woman, right? Like the story and the idea of in the one part he says she's doing everything for her man, makes his dinner, makes his that, and it's just like, god damn. She cries, and like the part that always gets me where he goes, she cries a lonely night too often, and I'm like, oh god damn it, I want to give her a hug. Like it's
Me
just
too.
it's I wasn't sure about sending it to you because I was like, oh, this isn't kind of how I want her to see it, but I'm like, it's an important song. It is empowering in its own way.
I loved it. I loved it a lot.
I'm glad you liked it because it was one of those that like that one took me a little bit and the last one took me a little bit because I'm like, I got to give the best representation of these bands that I've loved, so I got to pick the best of the best of the best. And I bet you would know some of the other stuff by Alice Cooper, like Poison and some of his Feed My Frankenstein, like just from listening to oldies radio. This was just like one of those that I love. And the one thing about it is I've seen him in concert, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, a lot. And he does this whole, like in the 80s, how there was always a big show, right? Like Kiss put on makeup. You always have these huge extravagant, like plays on stage, and he did that. And he would build this after Feed My Frankenstein, he would build this monster. And by the time it would go through that, and I think Steven, and then another song, and then it would get to Only Women Bleed. So it would be this like Frankenstein-esque monster, but actually underneath it, it was his daughter that played the role, because they go, always together. And it would show what was being said in the song. And at the very end, where it starts to kind of get harder, and he would look like he like just decked her. And it's such like, I don't know.
You said he decked her?
Like he didn't really. But I'm saying like,
oh my God, he hit her.
Like where he comes at the end and he says, "You're down on your knees begging me, please don't watch me bleed." And he would like smack her across the face 3 times. It was obviously fake, but it was like trying to show that abuse cycle. And it was so good. I love him, clearly. So good. So for your last song, dun dun dun. Okay, I've got the name right here. This was
This is really old.
Is it? I didn't know, but it was oh God. It was like damn it. I don't want to cry, but it's kind of like you're on that edge where you're like, sometimes I get it, and I get it way too often. So the song, I have it here. It is called, it's Barlow Girl?
Barlow Girl, yeah.
And the song is called Mirror, right?
Who are you to tell me that I'm less than what I should be? Who are you?
Yes.
So tell me why you picked this song.
As a little Christian girl, you would only listen to the Christian channel 24/7, all day, every day. And so, to me, it actually, hold on, no, I'm downplaying it. It was a lot better back then than what it is now.
Right.
Back then, they had different music all the time from different artists. Nowadays, it's just music on repeat, and I'm like, boring.
Right.
So this was a all female Christian rock band, and they were all sisters. I even asked my cousin to burn a CD for me from that band.
You said burn a CD. Oh my gosh, it's been forever since I heard that terminology.
Yes, I think I had a couple burned. Because I like the band so much, so nice. And so there was this one song would always stick out, and things like I was a little kid, so I liked the song. I didn't really understand the lyrics, and I'm like, I have to remember this band and this song. I have to write it down somewhere, or hear them talk about it, because they would say, "Oh, this is the song." That type of thing.
Right.
But now that we have the internet and stuff, we can just look it up. But for me, I had to remember it with my brain until the next time.
With my brain.
And so when I finally found it, I'm looking at all their songs, and a lot of their songs are like this. Some of them are more rock heavy.
Right.
And then others are like ballads like this. Last song was like in 2015, and so they disbanded. That was It was so heartbreaking for me when I heard that. And they said that God told them that he has something else for them to do and to wait for a sign. And so that's what they're doing. They're waiting. And I'm like, okay, God, how long are they going to wait?
I mean,
yes.
I get it though.
And so, like, when I remember, like, looking at the song, I'm crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh, I love this song.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I loved it. I thought it was, so I've heard, there's a couple songs, actually, I'm going to send you one later, that's similar to this, but, like, whereas I feel like you've got the good Christian one, I'm going to send you the not so good Christian one. Just be warned. But like, I love, and this kind of goes along with your second one. I love the idea of teaching little girls that you're okay no matter what. Like, yeah, sure, we all should know our flaws and own them and be okay with who we are in our body. But growing up in the Britney Spears era of smallness was such a mind fuckery to me that I want more of this for like today's generation. I know you said it's older, but like this is what girls should be listening to, not
He has
scrolling on
so much of this stuff for girls, man. And I'm like, why don't we have this anymore? Average Girl was another favorite. They were like tie and tie. I'm like, okay, should I send her this one or should I send her this one? I'm like, oh no. Average Girl, and she talks about, clothes don't fit anymore because we're forced to wear, the tightest clothes possible. But oh no, because of the lack of clothes, I got a cold. And it was mostly telling that there's no shame in trying to dress modestly and that you shouldn't be forced to do something you don't want to do.
Right.
Yeah, and there was that song quote, I don't need to be a model, they don't eat much anyway. Like that.
See, I love that. Like, that is just knowing how fucked up my head gets from beauty standards alone. And knowing that there's stuff out there to uplift is, I think, more encouraging because we do have the other stuff, right? The other stuff's all over. This is what we need more of. We need more of it's okay to be you. Like, don't let the mirror define you. I love that.
This might feel like kind of weird, but because you talked about like stuff like body dysmorphia and so many things, I was like, I want to send her this song.
Like, honestly, it's perfect. It is one of those songs that, like, when you're having that terrible day when you can't like look in the mirror, it's one of those that'll probably make you cry if you're in that mood, not gonna lie. But afterwards, getting the good cry out, I'm a girl, I cry a lot, like, and I know
Good cries are good, man.
Yeah, and then you kind of get that weight off your shoulders, and that's like what this reminds me of. It's just like, it's a beautiful ballad that teaches girls it's okay, and I love that.
Yes.
I love it. I already put it in I have a music playlist. I already put it there because I'm like, yes, this is a good one. This is a keeper. Bianca had a keeper. It is my favorite out of the three.
Thank you. It's my favorite out of the three too.
Yes, Twinkies. Okay.
Yay.
So, last song. The song that I sent Bianca was a Flavor House Addict by Coheed and Cambria.
Good eye, sniper. I shoot, you run. The words you scribbled on the walls with the lots of friends you didn't have.
And it took me so long to pick which one to send you again because, like, they have so many good songs. And Coheed and Cambria is this band that he has such a unique voice, for one. I find it endearing, but he also has a variety. So we're going to get another story here, guys. Sorry. Coheed and Cambria are two different names. Originally, this band did a story telling the love story of galactic proportions of Coheed falling in love with Cambria. And that's how this started, was this amazing story of their love. Like, for albums, they actually did a comic called Armory Wars, and it's awesome. And they had that alongside it. Now, of course, like, they're not still doing that story, but each one of their albums in itself is this long poetic story about something in those two live. And of course, they'll have, like, a breakaway song, and that's kind of what this was. That doesn't really follow in the story, but like, this is something you can map. The way they tell it, you could map it out in a novel, right? Like, the way that they did it was such finesse and the talents there. At least for me, this was like, I sent you a more poppy song from them, and it's so good. And like, this was like, I remember. Oh God, this is embarrassing. When I would blare this shit like, shortly after I graduated high school, I delivered pizzas. And it was just like everything I was listening to at the time. And it was like, I had my own, like, I had lived with a couple roommates, but like it would be constantly like this album that I sent you. Can you turn it the fuck down? I'm like, I don't have a TV. So eventually I got a TV and a DVD player, and then I'm doing the same thing again. And they're like, "Can you turn it down?" I'm like, "I don't know how to turn on a DVD." And I like, oh my God, it was so bad. But like this reminds me of that time in my life where it was like, I just kind of did what I want, like, and it's so good. And they're still making music to this day that are all about storytelling. And even in like some of their more recent stuff, they've gone to do some CGI animations that go along with the videos. So
Oh,
they've went, storytelling through music, storytelling through comic books, and now they're venturing off into like, almost like little animated shorts. It's so cool. I love storytelling in general, and this was just like right up my alley. What did you think?
oh, I loved it. I think.
Yes!
Actually, no. I want to keep the Alice Cooper at number 1. So this will be my number 2.
It's totally different genre.
I didn't even. I couldn't even process, like, as soon as the guy started singing, I'm like, oh, okay, this is one of those things where it's actually a girl singing and just a guy lip syncing. I'm like, no, this is him. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I'm like, he's so good. I'm so jealous.
And it's his hair, like he
His hair's
cut it off
amazing.
now, but it was like a freaking huge and flowy and like insane, and I love it. And that's why they have some really dark songs, like some of it, like the one song I remember hearing for the first time, and he's like, beautiful ballad, and at the end he's like, and I will annoy you. Like, what the fuck? I will annoy you. He's like, with every waking breath until you decide to wake up. I'm like, dude, you're writing a song about annoying someone. Like, I don't know. That's kind of fucking out of this world. But that's what's so good about them. They like, I guess I'm just such a person for storytelling in general. This was so up my alley.
It was hilarious too.
Yeah. That Flavor House or Favor. I always say Flavor. Favor House added. It's upbeat and weird and funky and kind of like the best of all their stuff. They have a little, like, they have that, and then they kind of switch to a style where it's more rock, like a little bit harder rock, but not in a bad way, like in an awesome way. I actually saw them in concert twice. I used to go all the time. I'm just old now. But yeah, I saw them in concert twice. Their live show was like just mind-blowing. It was so good.
I bet. Like, this looks like such a fun time, and they look so fun too.
Like,
Super jealous. You go to all these concerts. I've never been to a concert before.
what?
I've
Never?
never been to a concert before.
That is shocking. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. You're like, I haven't been in years, like COVID and everything else, but I'm surprised. You would enjoy, like, your brother's big into music too. I would think he would
He's
go.
definitely been to.
Oh, okay. Like, tell him he has to take you next time, and I said so. And that's the end of the story.
The ones he goes are metal concerts, so they have like mosh pits and stuff, and he's home at like 12 in the morning.
I haven't
I
been
don't
to
want
any.
to die.
Well, you just stand on the outside. Like last one like that I've been to was probably Ozfest long ago. But you just stand on the outside. Like and people, like when Ozzy Osbourne came on, people calm down and shit. But yes, you're too teeny, Bianca. Like you've got me trumped on shortness. You do not engage in mosh pits. And we need to get you to a concert. That's crazy.
I would honestly prefer to go to a K-pop concert. I know I possibly just won't die.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was thinking of songs and stuff, I kind of thought I might get some K-pop from you. Just because of your love for anime.
I purposely didn't choose that because then you would have to read subtitles.
I appreciate that. I do.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes they don't have subtitles either, so you won't know what the heck they're talking about.
But so when you listen to K-pop, do you like just listen? Do you sing? Do you?
sometimes, if I'm really into the song, I'll see if I can practice it. So I do it for a few months, and then I'm a master, and then I stop like singing it, and then I'll forget the lyrics. But for that, it's mostly listening. You can search up the lyrics if there's lyrics available on the video. You can just turn on the lyrics while you're watching, and then it's really just memorizing the lyrics, which is pretty easy to do. And then
Right,
you can
and it's poppy.
like you can turn off the lyrics and then watch the video, and then you're like, oh, hey, I know the lyric on this specific part.
But-
Akita.
See, and it's weird because like that wasn't ever popular when I was younger, but there's been this weird explosion of K-pop being so okay, actually here, I have a question. Is K-pop one band or is it a genre?
So, I don't know how this came about, but K-pop is not a genre. It's just pop in Korea. But because it's Korean people, it's called K-pop.
Oh, so like K is Korean pop. Okay.
And then for Japanese, it's J-pop. For Chinese, it's C-pop. For indie pop.
I had no idea. I thought it was a genre, but like I get it now, but like I don't explain the draw.
The draw?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? What's the draw?
What draws you to that?
I'm sorry, it took me a while to understand that. I'm sorry. Anime, actually.
Yeah, that's why I expected it.
So there's an anime, and I was watching it, and at the very ending of the anime, you would the anime characters dance choreography. And then, so I looked it up. I looked up the band or whatever, and they were doing the exact choreography the characters were doing. I'm like, oh, so they made the characters do their choreography. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
And because I usually don't see stuff like that. And so I'm just listening to this one band's song. This band's one song, the usual that I do. I always do this when I listen to stuff. I just put on one song, and then I'll dive into more stuff. And then I put on a random song, just any random one, and I went, this is weird. Why does this not, is this Japanese still? It was not Japanese still. It was Korean. This was a Korean band where the anime uses one of their Japanese songs, and apparently they're not the only ones. They use a lot of Korean bands that will sing Japanese or use like background music of their songs and stuff in the anime, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And so that was my first K-pop band, which is 2PM.
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 It's just weird to me because there's like explosion of this genre to, I guess, being more popular with younger generation. It's like you hear all those weird stories like K-pop fans did this, K-pop fans did that, and I'm like, wait, is there really that many fans? But I guess so.
I mean, for me, I've been listening to K-pop since 2011. I don't know what age I was.
Just don't say, for my sake.
Okay.
Oh, I love it though. Yeah, that's awesome. So now I got some new music to listen to, or at least to put on my playlist. Except for that first one. Yeah, no. Caravan Palace is okay, but I'll
send you the raunchy one.
Yes, and I'll send you my more R-rated version of the the Mirror song. It's totally different, but it's amazing. I think you'll actually enjoy it. So make sure you guys go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to myself. I'm like, it's gonna be so messed up when I send it to you.
No, I love it. Make sure you guys definitely hit like and subscribe. We do this every single week. I love the music stuff. I do. I know it won't be as popular, but I just thought this one would be fun. So, anything you're doing this week on your channel by chance?
I wonder.
You're like, I have no idea.
I'm definitely gonna make a Niobe comics video because
Awesome.
The guy who made it, Larry, he
Mhm.
was supposed to email me when the campaign went live, and he didn't. He's a turd. called him out on it, and he was like, "Yeah, I know, I'm an a-hole. I'm sorry. Send me your email." I'm like, "You didn't save my email? I'm so
my gosh.
offended." And
How
he's like, "I
rude.
know, I don't really keep emails," and I'm like, "Gosh, dang it!" And I'm like, "Don't worry, I got it."
That's so funny. Have you finished Stray Dogs yet?
I have not started Stray Dogs.
I figured. I had to ask though, because it's you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. So make sure you guys subscribe to Bianca. Her link is in the description, along with all the other songs we talked about. I'll probably edit in a little bit of it though. Gotta make it fun. Gotta make it fun. Make sure you guys have a good week and be lots of Johnny again this week. That should be fun.
Woo!
Oh, God save us all. Ah. We will see you guys. Is there anything you wanted to add before we go?
Don't look up any of the music. It's fine.
You have to. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I just